Okay. Let me start sharing my screen real quick. Wait. What? Um, Direct screen. Okay, here I am. Jen, I am having problems to share my screen because I don't have permissions to. It seems that there are problems to present my screen. Uh,
Here, let me double check the settings.
yeah. Oh, it's my computer. It's my
Oh,
computer.
okay.
Yeah. Let me fix it. Okay. Let me see. Let me see now. Oh, wait. I need to rejoin the call and stuff because of the settings, because of my settings. The problem is that I've never shared my screen in here. So give me a sec. I'll join in a bit.
Yep, no problem.
Okay.
I'm just going to go ahead and share the notes while Alejandro joins back.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Sure. Let me share my screen now. Okay. Okay. No. Oh gosh. No.
I think if you just choose a different, if you share by tab.
Yeah, it seems. Okay. Let me just share uh, the uses of stat. No, that would be good, I think. Uh, yes. Okay. Are you seeing my screen right now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah. Well, I can just for a little bit of context, I kind of ask Jen if I could switch with her um once in a while for going through the issues and stuff. So I'll be doing the run against the issues and see what's new, what are the issues that we had for the next milestone, and what are the older issues that we should be assigning already. So let's start. I am responsible for these 9 issues that you're seeing here, that this first 9 issues that you're seeing here. Um, these issues relate. Let me open one. Let me open the main one. These issues relate with a review that we needed to do with compliance Trestle demos. This work has been assigned to the Georgia Tech interns that are working with us currently. So the idea was to go through the repo and review if the Trestle demos were working correctly. So um, it seems that one of them have already gone through them and has made PRs against compliance Trestle demos repo, and it seems that there are PRs that I need to review there, that the work is still in progress. So that's why I have created a lot of other issues. I don't really, I didn't really see a better way to make an epic in GitHub using projects and not using SamHub, because on SamHub I was used to create an epic and create all the issues. I think this is the way. If sorry, if anyone else has another well, maybe a suggestion on how to do an epic much better, please tell me, because I wasn't able to create it correctly. But I think this works, right? It has a task list with 8 tasks assigned, and once each of the tasks are going to be closed, this is going to be marked as well in the main issue. So yeah, that's why these all issues are created, one per each of the demos. Each of the demos have the same information. Make sure the demos work and with the current version of Trestle, and see if there are any enhancements to be done there. So okay, any questions, or shall I move to the next one?
Just wanted to comment that the way you set up the epics is, I think, exactly the way I would go about it too. So I don't see any issues there.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
So,
Thanks.
I do have a comment here. So these demos are not really part of a Trestle release per se, right? I mean, it's independent of making a Trestle release.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, because the changes are going to be done directly, unless we found an issue that is concerning the whole code base, but it is not. I think that's why I created them in here at first.
Okay. So in the spirit of labeling, should we mark these as demo only, or some other moniker on them, so that we know that we don't have to include them in any kind of Trestle release?
That's good, I think. Yeah. Mhm. Is there something to be called demo?
Oh, right there. I think there's demos. And then
Uh-huh.
on the project, there is, if you look on it, there's different areas. And we can add demos as an area just to split the issues up, because I think we have different
Right.
types.
But we should be creating the area first, right? And we can do that right now if you want. Or
Yeah, let me see. I don't know
Hmm.
if you can change it right there. Oh,
let's
okay.
see.
So we have these demos as a separate repository. Should this issue reside there?
Yeah, what I was saying, because is that I don't think it's going to happen. But what happens if there's one demo that needs a change in the code base, which I don't think so, right? But that's why I made them in here, and in here we have a little bit of more tracking than the other repo. That's why I made them here. But if you want, I can replicate them in there as well, to be associated with the PRs and stuff.
Yeah, because the PRs would be open there, right?
Yeah,
So
the
we
PRs
can
are
replicate this. Yeah.
the PRs are open there, actually. Yeah. So what I could do is to recreate these issues there, assign them to a PR, and then reference. If you see, let me check, because Jihao has been making comments in here. The only thing is that, yeah, he mentions the PR in here, but he will need to manually close this issue, not directly with a PR, because it's not going to be associated with this demo, right? And I don't know if here it's the cross repo reference activated, um, because for certain organizations you can set that up, I think, right? You can just say that this issue is going to be closed with a PR coming from another repo, but I don't know if this is the case with this organization.
Another option is you can actually transfer it if you wanted to move, and instead of recreating all the issues, there's an option to transfer it to another repository.
Oh, I see here, right? It seems. Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
I would be in favor of that. I mean, we don't need more overhead. Just
Okay.
one place is fine. But
Okay.
but they should be marked, I think, as demo and not going to be part of any Trestle release if that's the case. That's my
You're right. You're right. You're right. Whatever we find more useful, I think I'm in favor of it. Um, mm, yeah, I could transfer them to the other repo and not make a lot of noise in here. If you are okay with that, because Jen,
Okay.
who,
Repeat that again.
yeah, I could transfer them to the other repo if you agree with it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can transfer that to the other repo.
Okay, let me. For the sake of this meeting, I will just transfer them to. Well, at the end, if we have time, or after the end, after the meeting ends. Okay, to move with
Mhm.
other uses. Okay,
sounds good.
cool. Thank you. Okay, this one was opened by Ryan Ahern from GSA. I have already take a look at it, and one of the things that he is saying, this is true. I mean, it's a bug because one of the things he is complaining about is that he is expecting that a warning is not being shown when the parameter is supposed to not have values and was referenced by pros, but it has values. The only thing is that as this parameter is an aggregation, it does not have the values per se in the parameter. It is grabbing the parameter values from another parameters, which the code is saying, okay, this parameter per se does not have values, but it has values coming from another parameter that is aggregating the values from. So that one, I see that I mean, it's not an error per se, but it is confusing the user in the end. So that's one thing. And the other thing that I am seeing, and I checked, that is passing, is that the control statement section is not being filled with the parameter values. The assessment objective one is being filled, but the control statement is not. So I just wanted to take some time because if to check if this was meant to happen, because I went through the code, I went through the issue because I was the one that implemented this, but I didn't see anywhere any instruction to check on the control statement changes. But I wanted just to check with him real quick if that's good. Or you don't have a clue, or maybe we can review it later. Are you there, because
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
here. I'm just thinking.
Okay.
Uh, just check it and yeah, then we
Yeah,
can
we
discuss.
can check it online. I just wanted to mention
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
One of them at least, I know for sure that shouldn't be there because it's going to confuse users, right? It's saying
Okay.
it has no values and was referenced by pros, but it has values. The only thing is that the parameter it has aggregated values coming from other parameters. So for that one,
Yes, so I believe this if you remember, this aggregation thing was implemented in profiles, if you remember, right? Later.
that's right.
So,
That's right.
so I don't know whether we haven't updated the SSP code after that, correct?
You're right. You're right. And I actually checked the the test case that I made, and it was for profile generate only.
Yes.
Profile
Yes.
generate.
So similar thing has to be done here also.
Okay. Okay. Then okay. then maybe we can analyze then if we can if we do this for SSP generation as well, right? Um, okay, I keep this assigned to me because of how I am already familiarized with the code and I can give a solution to this, but I'm marking this as a bug first and see whether it should be changed to an enhancement or so. Um, okay. Let's see. I am going to put this on the next milestone because I think this should be fixed yes or yes. Okay. What else? Okay. I think this one. Okay. I see what's this is related about. Yeah. There was a slight change in the change look behavior after we made the release, the last release, updating the Python semantic release to version 9. And Chris has specified this very well. And it seems that there's a release that appears to fix our problem, but it's been open by over 6 months now. I've seen that he has made certain comments there, and Jen, you did it as well. But I don't know if it has gotten to a solution yet. I don't think so. So
So who's working on this? Are you working or is Chris looking at this?
not really, not in particular. But I could assist him in creating a PR and stuff. Um, it doesn't seem what I was reading is that it doesn't seem that we have reached to a conclusion uh, to a fix, to an actual fix to do this. But I can work with him
Okay.
to reach that, right? So we're getting, yeah. I think this is most important. This is really important for us to look at, right? Because that change is not good. It's making a lot of garbage in the change log that we didn't use or need. So I'll put another set of eyes on this and a much more higher priority than what I had. Let me mark it as bug and assign it to the next milestone as well. What I could do, because I don't know if you agree, is that as part of, I mean, we were talking that the intern, well, Yihao has been really fast solving the compliance demos. Of course, I need to review them and stuff, but um, if he has solved those problems, we could just assign him some bugs that I have assigned right now to him, and I can focus on these ones.
So Alejandro, on that topic, I had a meeting with intern How yesterday,
Okay.
and like you mentioned, he has been making very good progress,
Right.
and he mentioned a desire yesterday to work on some more challenging problems as well, right? So demos is good. So I think it's a good idea to distribute the demos among both the interns,
Uh,
because I would divide it in a way: validate 3 demos, contribute couple demos for both the interns. So if he has done his piece on demos, then I think we should definitely assign him couple other development items.
okay. Perfect. That's good. Yeah, because yeah, I've seen that he has made 4 of the 8 demos because I said to them initially that I was going to split the work. So he has done 4 of 8. So that I think it will be ideal to assign him another issue in here and left the other, sorry, left the other remaining ones to manage. Okay. Okay, I'll be making that and see what the issues I'll be assigning to Yihao, because we have a technical mentorship meeting today, and so we'll talk about it later on. Okay. This one seems to be open by you, Jen, 2 weeks ago. Could you tell us a little bit?
Yep, and you can assign it to me, and probably put it in the backlog. I don't know that it needs to be assigned to an actual release because it's just documentation, but
Okay.
you guys can tell me if that's like not what you typically do. The background behind it is we have created a code of conduct in the community repo, and it points to a specific contact email, which is different from the code of conduct in compliance Trestle. So in the organization, like shared files, we created a code of conduct pointer essentially. And if you remove the code of conduct in the repos where it was pre-existing, it should inherit from the organization. So essentially what I want to do is remove the code of conduct so it can inherit from the top level.
Okay. Okay. Other than putting a label backlog, is there anything else that I should be doing here? I'm just asking for the process, right? And for not breaking the process, or is just this?
You could probably
Mhm.
maybe, I know we're trying the new thing where we're adding things to the project.
Okay.
So maybe just add it to the project, and then after this meeting, I can create an area around documentation. And just for context for everyone else, we started using the release planning project. It's what's recommended per like the CNCF docs on release planning, and it will help us kind of craft a roadmap as well, because there's options there. And we can use some automation there. So I've been separating each issue by type to maybe help us figure out who the assignee should be. If there's one person who's very specific with a piece of the code base, like Markdown, we would know who to assign it to. So just wanted to share that real quick.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Let me just get back to the ones I did in assignment project 2. Well, as I am assigning this to a specific milestone, does it need to be on the project tool as well, or not necessarily?
You can assign it to both, and if it's in both the milestone and the project,
Mhm.
the current milestone shows up on a Kanban board on the project.
Okay. Okay. Let me assign it to this one. Thank you, by the way, Jen, for doing this. I am not too used to GitHub projects and how it works. Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'm moving this out of here, so I won't just do anything. What else? Okay, that's, I think, the new ones. Okay, that we just opened recently. Let me go through the milestones, or the milestone. Okay, for this first one, that's actually the next issue I was thinking of assigning to Memish. He hasn't finished. He's almost finished with the issue that I assigned to him. We are going to review status today with the first issue that I assigned to him. So I was thinking on this one next, and then passing him to work on the demos. So yeah, it hasn't been started yet. Um, I'm putting this in the Trestle release planning as well, and well, with that milestone. Yeah. For this one, Jen, I think you had already a PR, right? That was approved already by me and by Lou, I think. Or is this not the one? Yeah, it is. It is the one.
I think this is it. I wasn't clear on whether I should wait, and Vikas, you can probably answer this. I wasn't clear if I should wait on a review, another approval before merging, so I just wanted to ask that. Otherwise, I can just merge it today.
Yeah, I think that was
So this is just a minute. This is about supporting generic properties using. Okay, this is about the Trestle properties, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can you just give me a high level overview how these properties are being added? So you put these properties in the YAML header, right?
Correct. I reused almost all of the logic from the way this is done with profiles. So even to the level of adding it at the implemented requirement level or the statement level. So it can get added in the YAML header of each SSP generated markdown.
No. So by default, these properties would go in the implemented requirements control level, right?
Yes.
But how do you add to a specific subpart, which is like AC1.a? So like we are specifying in the profile, like a statement colon a or something. I don't remember the exact syntax, but some way we are specifying that this property belongs to a statement level, not the control level. So you're using the same logic here?
Yeah, the same processing logic. So exactly the same way you did it. We do it in profile
Okay.
today.
So this would only support properties at control and statement level inside implemented requirements. Is that correct understanding?
Yeah, correct.
Do we have a use case where we need to add properties to any other element?
Not that I'm aware of right now. This one was to, like, more specifically, this requirement came from from wanting to get a FedRAMP compliant SSP. And from what I found, many of the additional properties were at the implemented requirement and statement level, but I haven't looked through deep enough to understand if there's more requirements. So this is just where I'm starting.
So let's go with this, and if we feel there is a need to add properties to other parts of the SSP, then we'll have to maybe come up with some way to specify where these properties are going, because all elements in the OSCAL structure, right, they can have properties, and here we are assuming these are these are control level properties, so that is fine. But yeah, if we come up with some other thing, well, this is fine. So each file is, so when we provide the YAML header, it goes into each file, each control file, or it will, how does it happen? I'm just trying to recollect that. So YAML header is specified on the command line, right? So, and if there are n number of controls, so it will be added to each markdown file separately, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So all the markdowns will have the same property values in that case to start with, unless somebody goes and edits over there.
I think yes. I'm making sure I'm understanding. So when it gets generated initially, the Trestle add props value in the YAML header is empty. And
Oh, so you're saying when we add these properties, the values are not populated by default. The YAML header just has the property name, not the value. Is that correct?
it has the ability to add props. but it doesn't have any, and it doesn't have an opinion on what properties would be added. I think so. So are you talking about like if we specified an extra YAML header on the command line, that would populate it? Is that right?
Yes, I'm assuming that there is an option in the SSP generate, right? I can specify a YAML file with these properties, and that they would go to the control markdown. So are we talking of the same thing, or we are talking different things here?
I think we might be talking about something different. So there's nothing that you can pass to the command line. There's no actual changes to the command line at all here. The only change is that there's an available pre-populated field add props in the SSP markdown that's empty.
Okay.
That gives the user the ability to add different properties to different controls and optionally at the statement level. So that's all this adds, is pretty small.
Okay. So you're saying under X Trestle add properties in a specific control markdown file, if somebody adds a property and a value, it would go to that. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Okay, got it. Okay. So okay, then it is fine. I was thinking because there is a command line option where we can specify a YAML file, and that set of properties get added to all the control files. So I was thinking of that. But if it is just in specific to individual markdown files, then this is fine. So you're saying this behavior is exactly same as what is there in the profiles, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, then I think you're good to go now, Jen. That was the confusion, right? I brought up because I felt that because needed to have this talk with you before merging. Okay. Okay, moving on. Okay, this one seems to be assigned to you, Lou. You had a chance to look at it, or is it still in the backlog? Yeah.
1525. Make test fails in development environment when there's a pre-existing Trestle workspace. This is a problem. It's a bug. It's in the backlog. It's not a critical thing, but it's annoying.
Okay. It's not a priority. I think that's why it wasn't assigned to nobody, right?
Should we move it to the backlog and out of the milestone?
I think so. Yeah, because
And this may be one thing that
Uh-huh.
we can assign to an intern, right? This may be a small piece. I don't
Yes.
know, Mimish. This should be small enough for him to take it on its own.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It has to just detect if there is a workspace in temp, it has to delete or create a new workspace, right, before proceeding. That's all I believe it should be done here.
Let me just assign it to him right now.
Mhm.
And
But remove from the milestone
Yes.
because that's not critical.
yeah, it's not critical. Okay, perfect. Okay, moving on. Why is it appearing here? Wow. Okay, I'll look at it. Next one seems to be add implementation part headers by default. It seems to be yours, Jen. I think this is related with the other one, right? With the other PR you have. Yes, it is.
It is, and I got similar feedback. I was waiting till I merged the other one before touching this one because I didn't want to have to deal with a merge conflict. So I'll fix it as soon as the other one is merged in.
Okay. Yeah, I personally haven't taken a look at this one. Probably today I'll take a look
So
at.
wait a minute.
I think Luke see it.
So what you are saying here is there is no way to specify the implementation response in the SSP at the control level. This is or at the system level.
Yeah, so the logic as it stands now only will create the implementation part response if there's an associated rule. And since there's no way to do that in this system at the SSP level, the solution was to make that header or that heading manually, which was kind of difficult. So what this does is it'll check if we're in the context of a component definition or an SSP. And if we're in the context of an SSP and the component is this system, if there's multiple parts to a control, it will go ahead and generate that implementation heading.
No, you're saying, so by default, this system heading should be generated for each subpart of the control? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I believe there was a reason to avoid that is if there are lots of parts without any rules, right? And if the overall response is at the control level, then putting these components for each subpart may make this markdown file very big, right? Unnecessarily. So I believe that was one reason why we didn't auto-populate this system or other for each subpart, right?
So
at the control level, is there this system or not by default?
by default there is a this system for the control level, but so I think it's kind of a trade-off, right? Because it makes the markdown more lengthy, but without it, you don't really have the ability to populate things at the statement level for this system if you want to as a user. And that's something we need in particular for our generation to SSP Appendix A in the FedRAMP plugin, because that's separated specifically at the statement level and is looking for information specifically at the statement level. I don't know if maybe we add like a flag or make this optional, if that would alleviate the concern some.
Yeah, that may be one option. So what you're saying is in FedRAMP, the response has to be captured at the statement level and not only at the control level. Is that the requirement?
That is the requirement when doing the generation. Yeah, if there are available statements, it captures at the statement level and not at the control level.
Okay, so maybe the option to have a flag and then specify that then in that case it will automatically generate all the subparts, right? Like implementation part A, B, C, D, and put this system component by default under each of those, right? With empty text or whatever.
Yeah, and that's how it works on this PR. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's have a command line argument to do that rather than by default being that. It can be may not be the default behavior, but using a command line option. Yes.
Okay.
So this is still. I'm sorry. This is still going to be an enhancement then.
Yes, this is an enhancement. Yes.
It'll just change the shape in how it's added implementation, right? Okay, got it. Okay. Okay. Next one is mine. I actually haven't made too much progress in this one. I started it out, but then I switched to the issue brought up by Ryan Ahern, and I changed the priority there. This is still a thing that we want to, right? Introduce the dependable. So in the next week, I'll be creating a PR for this one in particular, because I have already kind of made some research and have the notion of it. I'll bring Chris Butler to review, of course, and well, maybe then you would like to take a look as well. But I'll introduce the PR for this one on next week. Um, so everything remaining here. What else did I have to? Okay, this one was created by Chris. Nobody is assigned to this one as well. We potentially thought of this one to be assigned as well to one of the interns. So what do you think? Because
Yeah,
or
this may be a good thing for intern. It's a completely separate.
right,
Yeah,
right.
so we can assign them to an intern. But what is our estimation of the work required here? Do we feel it is reasonable enough for an intern to complete in a week or so, or at most 2 weeks, or it requires more time?
Mm, which commercials we display currently? Yeah, I don't know how to size it because I haven't ever used mic. It doesn't seem to be like 1 month effort, right? The only thing that I'm concerned about is that as they are working 15% of the time for a week,
Maybe
um,
2 weeks. They still have about a month, right, remaining.
maybe 2 weeks, 2 weeks or so.
Yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
or even if it requires more, we still have time, about a month. So if Mimish can take this and complete this, that may be a good enough chunk of work, right?
Okay, instead of the other ones, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
okay,
Because
okay.
this is a significant piece which he can also claim that he made this addition to the Trestle project, right? Which is
That'll be excellent.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
Alejandro, just a quick update. I don't know if you shared. Sorry, I was doing something else also. Did he complete his testing improvement work that was assigned to him, and to add, to check errors where, um, exactly check the error message for failing test? Was he able to complete that, or is he still working on it?
Yeah, not really. He seems to be finishing already. That's what we are going to review today.
Do we have a pull request?
No, we don't yet.
Okay. 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 Let's give it a day or two, because he has been at it almost the whole month of June.
Mhm.
Um. Either he is struggling, or either the issue itself is not well defined. That's what it tells me. Um. So let us assign him this. Not that I want him to throw away his work, but maybe commit it to a branch, work on this, and then again go back to it, so
Okay.
that even for his resume, or even for his internship, he would have something completed and delivered.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Let me check what else. Okay, here's one, but it's created by Lou. Um, it's not assigned to anybody. So it says define M bars for the Python version in the GitHub workflows. Um, Is this still a priority? It doesn't seem to, but yeah, workflows are break correctly. Python version. Oh, this is coming from Chris Butler, I think, right? Mhm. So I don't think this is relevant for the milestone yet,
Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah.
not really. So I'm just going to move it out. Shall I leave it in the Trestle release planning of the projects? I think so, right? At least particular at it, or not.
Yeah, you could add it there. And if we still plan to work on it, which I think we're agreeing that we are, you could just put it in the backlog and it'll show up in the backlog tab.
Okay. 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 Okay, this one was created some time ago by George. I think you're in here, Nicole George. Yeah, I haven't checked for this one. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, then, yeah, feel free to bring us in whenever you have a PR or so, George, or if you need any help before that as well. Of course, we're here to help you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a bug, so I'll just assign it to you right now. Just to keep
Okay.
track of it. So release plan and milestone. Okay, perfect. Okay, and these two are the ones that we just talked about earlier, right? The aggregate parameters for Ryan Ahern and the one for bad behavior on the change log. So okay, there are only 11 minutes left to the hour. Do we have any other topics that we wanted to discuss before jumping into the other issues before the milestones?
I did have one I wanted to raise, in just talking with Chris a bit and to accommodate anybody who, where this is their Friday night. I'd like to propose that we move this issue review meeting to another day of the week. I don't know if there's a particular day that would work for everyone. We could set up a doodle poll like we did last time, or it could just be on possibly the Tuesdays that we don't have the community meeting, but just wanted to propose that to the group and see if we could come up with a different day to have this meeting.
Yeah, I believe we can put it with the community meeting alternate with that, right? So that we have the same time being used either for the community meeting or for this release planning, right? So even from the community outside IBM and Red Hat, right? If people want to join this release planning meeting, they will have the same time, right? When the call happens and when this meeting happens.
That's still going to be a tough time for Chris Butler, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's not going to work for him.
Mhm.
Well, I did ask, and he said any time, like he'll make it. Though he can't attend each time, he said the only thing that he requests is that we don't have it Friday. So
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would also like to avoid on Fridays.
yeah, definitely understand that.
It's late. Yeah.
Not
Okay.
late, but yeah, Friday evenings I would like to keep free.
Okay. Sure. I did have, sorry, one other thing that I wanted.
So how are we going to proceed on that issue? I don't think we closed on that. Are we going to just move it to the alternate? That's the done deal?
I could propose it in Slack and then tag Chris
Yes.
perhaps, and then just
Yep. Yeah,
see
put
what
in the
kind of
Slack
response
and
we get.
see if we have any adverse response. If nobody says they are not happy with that, then we can move, right?
Yeah, ask for alternate proposals if that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay, cool. I'll put that in notes on the HackMD as well. One other thing that I had in mind is, and that's something that I have been discussing with Jen as well, is how are we going to structure the releases? And Jen has been working on this release planning project as well, which I think it's really good. But we are used to make releases kind of on demand, right? If we need to make a release, then we do it. But I just wanted to see, or to see whether we agree on setting certain time frame to make releases, at least to be in a standard, not necessarily to be um, an order, right? That every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks we are going to make a release, because there might be some things that are not going to be fixed on that time frame, or at least there are not they haven't been a lot of bugs or feature ads needed. But I was thinking that well, maybe we could make the releases a little bit structured and kind of planned ahead, right? So I just wanted to bring up this topic to the table and see what you thinks, what you guys think about it. And well, if not, then we just keep on the on demand release strategy, right? I was thinking on maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks could be a good time for us to well, complete what we have planned to release in 3 weeks, and that in this way as well we can advise others that we are going to release in these and that, and all the things that we have on our roadmap, sorry, for each of the releases. I don't know if anyone has an each or has another solution or view on this.
Well, I mean, we have this releases bucket and we have a bunch of stuff in it. And when all the stuff is fixed, we have a release, right? I mean, that's by definition. And if you want to add to the bucket, we put it in and we can't make a release until it's fixed. So
No, but some things happen that if there are some bugs which people want to be fixed and a release made, whereas features and all can happen later, right?
yeah, I mean, there's two aspects, right? One is the planned part and one is the unplanned part. So if there's, something that needs to get out desperately, then of course we would make a release. But otherwise, it's either in the release bucket or it's not, right?
One thing that I could propose, and I think initially I proposed milestones because it seems to be where a lot of projects start in using milestones. But I've also seen like some projects abandon the idea of using milestones. So if it works for the group or we can think it over, possibly another solution would be having a ranked backlog or a priority backlog. And then, like Alejandro was saying, we release every X number of times, or we release every couple weeks and or once a month. And then if there's like a high priority bug, it just has to go out. We make a release, but then there might be less overhead around like switching around the milestones or creating a new milestone. That's happened a couple times. So it doesn't mean that we can't keep going with this. It's just an alternative proposal.
Yeah, I actually like that, like having a priority backlog. What I would like to avoid is that we have a milestone for 3.3.0 with no due date, and we spend months and months trying to complete the milestone that has no due date. And I got it, right? We are not being pressured by anyone for issues like this one, right? Reviewing the website links or any other sorts of things that are not explicitly being asked by anyone. But what I would like to avoid is just to have a milestone that has no end date at all, and we don't accomplish anything.
Yes, I agree with you, right? Let's have some milestone. Uh, we can adjust the milestone date if there are something which are just pending and within few days we can complete it. So we don't have to be very strict that, okay, if we set date X, we have to release it, but we can move by a couple of days. But if we feel that there are few issues which are taking time, then we can bump it to the next release and go ahead with the current, whatever have completed till this point, we can make a release, right?
Exactly. Mhm. Yeah, and in here we can be flexible in terms of the time. I mean, 2 or 3 weeks.
2 weeks may be a bit early for features and all.
Mhm.
Bug fixes, obviously, if they are high priority bug fixes that require, we need to anyway make the release as
Right.
and when the fix is available. But let's keep it 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever we feel. 4 weeks, yeah, maybe a good time to make a, because when we're talking of releases, we are talking of new features, right? Not bug fixes,
Mhm.
ideally, right? So 4 weeks,
That's not
maybe.
entirely true, because even in releases, since we use Semver, it depends whether it's a patch release or whether it's a major release or it's a breaking release. My thoughts would be patch releases. They go anytime because they are bug fixes. We can wait if the bug fixes can wait. I think getting on a monthly cadence for releases also makes it more predictable and easy for planning. We don't have, so ideally, if we really go agile, we have to release every day, but we are not there and that's not needed. But a regular cadence, like a monthly release, would make sense in my mind for Trestle. So if it's an urgent bug fix, someone is waiting for it, we do a patch release. Otherwise, we go on a monthly release cadence.
I think that's why I was suggesting we maybe like look at alternatives to the milestones. So we could give an example, like we have a critical bug fix. Now we need to do a release. And so now what we planned for 3.3.0 is now 3.4.0. And so it's just like a lot of chatter on the issues because some of them have been moved from 3.1.0 to 3.2 to 3.3. And so like maybe we just say these are the ones that are most important, and not exactly assigning a release to them, but like these are up next, and then release monthly and say, okay, whatever got done in this month, that's what goes out. So
Mhm.
that's just what I'm proposing.
Yes, and Jen, then we can also have like planning meetings, say at the start of the month. So I do a similar cadence for development in my team. Uh, I we do a planning meeting. We get other stakeholders also involved in that start of the month planning meeting to decide what does the outlook look for the month. And generally, we don't differ. We don't like to differ from that monthly output, a monthly outlook which we planned at the start of the month. But of course, if there is something high priority, then we can also make that priority call, right? Yes, we had planned this for July, but something came up, some vacation came up, some urgent issue came up, and that's where we prioritize it and tag it to August. So I feel a timeline cadence um, uh, gives a better outlook, gives a better way to plan. And even outside community, they can expect that, okay, I'll have to wait a week for the release to happen. They would not pressure.
I mean, to model the real world, I mean, there's stuff that's in develop and there's stuff we'd like to get into develop. I mean, whatever's in develop is going to go, right? I mean, so if you want to have a list of things that we'd like to get into develop, that's one list, and you have a list of things that's already in develop. And whenever you push develop to main, you've got to release, right? So
If that's the case, then probably we'll have to fork a branch from develop, call release, next release branch, and all feature additions go to that. And if they are critical bug fix, then it has to go to the develop branch to make a release and to that feature branch also, right? Probably that may be a solution, but that may be a bit complex, right, to handle. If we want to only make bug fixes, urgent releases, and
that's not possible in today's world. I agree with you because we're pushing
no,
everything to
in that
develop.
case, we'll have to whenever we make a release, then we have to fork the develop and create a next release branch where we accumulate all the features, right?
Yes,
And any urgent bug fixes which has to go to the release immediately has to be merged into develop to make a release and also to this new branch, right?
exactly.
And and then this new branch would have to be synced back after the release has happened because the develop would also change. Then we'll have to merge the develop back into this new branch, right? After the release happened with that bug fix.
If you want to Yes.
It has to be done, right? Without that, otherwise there might be some conflicts. Yeah.
Anyway, something to think about. We have to decide today.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to drop now. I have another call, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks a lot, because I'll put this on the notes on HackMD, because we haven't reached to a conclusion, right? And we can create a thread on CNCF Slack channel to discuss this, and maybe, right, this doesn't have to be solved like now, but this is still a thing that was concerning me, and I have talked with Jen, um, and we think that we need at least to have the conversation, right? So okay, I'll put that in the notes for HackMD, and probably create that thread in Slack, so we can keep up the conversation. I guess that's it, at least for today. I don't want to steal you more time, guys. Thank you very much for assisting. Is there any final comment or anything else that you would like to add?
Nope. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.